Hey boys and girls, welcome back. We got a new pattern here for you today in this organza series that we're doing, and a couple of neat applications that again can be applied to lots and lots of bugs. What we have here is called the gray man. Last year I was fishing up Mill Creek and ran across these huge caddis that the trout were eating. The one that I caught had about 10 of them in his mouth. I swear they were coming. I had one coming out each side. It was kind of funny. I'll try to put that link in the description. But 2 weeks ago we did a Higgins and used this organza, which is this ribbon type material, for a shellback. Last week we did a little stonefly imitation that used that organza as a ribbing. So whether you kind of like a biot body that you're going to use, tips up or tips down, gives you a different look. Okay, if you do it tips up and roll it so that the tips are pointing towards the back, you're going to get little fuzzies on the side, like gills, like ribbing, like any type of bug that you find in the creek. So what today we're going to do is combine them, and we got lots of examples here for you to show you kind of the progression on how I built this or put this together, because I wanted to start combining some of these things that we're doing. What we have here, 4mm bead. This is by Firehole. This is Mounds. Obviously this is my deep diver. This is a size 12 7/18 by Firehole, which is a very big hook. It's probably closer to a 10, traditional 10 or 8. But I wanted extra length and extra gap, but still keeping it within that inch size, which is about the bug that I saw. So also what we're using for the body, nymph skins. This is a gray, Shimano, and the organza that we got. Okay, now organza comes in lots of different sizes. So what I have been using most is a 3mm size. This is going to be what we're using for today's bug for the shellback. That's the easiest to work with, just based on the kind of bugs that I make. If you're looking for something different or a little bit longer, most times you're not going to be able to wrap this size around the hook, so you're going to have to cut it, you're going to have to strip it. As soon as you cut it, it's going to start to fray. Okay, so really you can do it, you can make it work. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be small. Okay, when you use I think this is 5/8, which is a little more than a half an inch, compared to using a 3mm size. So you can fold this a lot of times to create a different effect. There's so many things you can do with it. What I like about it is that it holds its color, and it just has a different type of a shine to it than anything else that's out there, mostly because it's a weave. Now with this pattern that we have here, I am using all stock colors. Okay, this green is a light green that I cut from that 5/8 inch size, just so that I can have a little bit longer fibers, because that's what we're using on the belly, and just to try to present with the gills and the size of the bug that I'm making here. So other than that, for the hackle that we have here, this is deep shale. This is a soft hackle, one of those Brahma chickens. I dyed that color. It's like a very dark olive is how that comes out. So we're gonna use that and you know, kind of show you some of these examples on how this one started. Obviously I saw that bug, but this is the progression of the pattern. Okay, here we got on the bottom. I'll turn this around so you can see it a little bit better. What we have here on the bottom is just the nymph skin and the green under ribbing, which is how we're going to end up doing this. Okay, and the black shell back. Could not really see the distinction very much with the nymph skin, and you know, I was trying to find a way around that. So next one that we did, I put that ribbing, that green organza, in as a ribbing. So it did create a kind of a nice effect. So instead of being under the nymph skin as it is on this one, this is over the nymph skin on this one. Okay, and then we moved to this one to where we have it under the nymph skin, and then what I'm putting on there is that mono to try to increase you know, that segmentation that you can see there, and put some soft tackle on it that was a really good color to give us some legs and some action. So let's go ahead and jump into this. This is a little bit intricate, so looking at a little bit longer video here. Try to speed things along as best I can. The thread I'm using is just black nano silk, 12/0. Like I said, this hook is really big. Just a lot of length on the top of it here. I want that thread to go the whole way down through the drop there. As far as the mono goes, I take a pretty big piece of this just because I have a hard time putting some tension on it. We're going to take it down right to where, you know, we ended that string. Alright, this thing wants to be difficult, so we're going to cut it the hell out of there. Okay, next thing we're doing is putting on our 3mm black organza. With this bug, you do need to build up some bulk. So I normally keep all of my extra, I don't know, clippings, if that's the right word for it, just for that case alone. So if you have a piece of old yarn, single strand yarn or something like that, that's what I'm going to use here for building up the bulk of this. Okay, we get our nymph skin. We always cut the tips of this to a point. Okay. Couple tight wraps, and then you can stretch it. Take that down right to where the bottom is. Okay, we're gonna hang that. Now, find a piece of yarn. Like I said, I have, you know, a junk bag, and I just have little pieces of things sticking in there. So I picked one. The color that you pick can sometimes make a difference with that nymph skin, but we have so much material on it, you're really not going to be able to see through it too much. So I picked a piece. This is probably about 4 inches. Tie that in. Now I don't want to tie that the whole way back there. Okay, I would say leave a couple mils behind that yarn. Tie that off. We'll secure this bead in the right position once we get this up. Okay, and I will go one wrap below. If you saw what I did there, tie it in there, and I go one below that, and then start just wrapping this forward, trying to build up a little bit of bulk, mostly right on the middle section here. You could probably do this. Definitely gonna make this in a smaller size, but once you get down to like a size 14 or something like that, you could probably just do it with some thread, you know, just to secure that. Twist that bead into place. Now we're going to secure that yarn. Get rid of the excess. Okay, so that's about the taper that I want, because I still have 3 materials I'm going to be wrapping around there. But those materials aren't going to be as thick as that. So prepping your organza. Essentially, I'll show you how it is on this black piece. When you have this bigger stuff, all right, you're just going to cut it for however long you want your legs to be. This is going to be another pattern that we do here, using this for legs. So it still has a lot of these little frillies in here. I might just be able to do this with my hand. See these fibers that are in this weave? You just start pulling those out. And that's kind of how you expose the majority of this. Okay? Like that. And that's what I've done with this green one. Now this one isn't chopped too cleanly. I kind of do that on purpose. So to prep this, what you want to do is square off your end, and then I would tell you probably cut about a 1/4 inch of the little frillies off. And we're going to tie this in on the outside of this. Oh, I need to do it tips up. That's the easier way, because we want these legs to stick back. Okay, like this. And I want the back half of this, I might want to go back a little bit more. I want the back half of that bug to be just nymph skin. Okay. Now this is where the bug gets intricate. Sometimes you don't have enough hands. I'm gonna hang that thread, and I'm gonna trap this organza. I know you probably can't see that on the screen. I'm gonna try to trap it. Sometimes if you have a little clip, you know, you can clip it right to your string here and it'll hold it. But I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, now at the bottom of the bug here, you want this tight. So you're gonna stretch that nymph skin, especially that first wrap or two, till you can secure it, and then just gradually let off that tension so you can start to line up your trailing edges. Okay, as you get closer to the middle of the bug, you want less tension because you want more bulk. Right now I'm just trying to line up those segmentations at the bottom. We're going to color those a little bit. Went off of that a little too much. See how it back rolled on me there? In the stormy night when shadows loom, I light up off this a little too tight. I want to see those trailing edges. As we get closer to the top here, we're going to incorporate this organza. See, we wound it right up into that, where we had that tied off. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you, hold this so that there's not a lot of tension on it. Okay. And what you're going to do is try to line up this edge, the good edge of that organza, on the trailing edge of the nymph skin. Okay, kind of like that. Let's do that again. I always pinch it at the bottom and then try to slide my fingers up a little bit, just trying to keep it where it's supposed to be. Because you're not going to be able to reduce how much you're stretching. Okay, and we're just going to use our rotary vise, try to keep those segments, you know, where they're supposed to be. I'm not stretching that nymph skin at all. Okay, I'm just basically keeping tension on the organza, trying to keep it as close to that leading edge or that trailing edge as possible. Okay. That last wrap wasn't very good. Guiding your ship, I'll see you through. I'll turn your gray skies to blue. Like I said, a little intricate. So once you do 3 or 4 of them, you kind of realize the tension that you're going to need on the top. And, you know, it gets a little easier. A couple wraps behind that. A couple wraps in front. Okay, it turned out pretty good. I said I didn't do a very good cut job on this organza. It's pretty uneven. But alright, we're going to secure that down. Alright, that's what we got so far. Pretty good. Okay, I'm going to tell you here, you can get a brush on this. And I'm doing this mostly because I want those little edges of this segmentation to stand up. I'm going to take a marker and go backwards. The most important part that you want to see on this is the underbelly. That's where you're really going to get to see that segmentation in there. Don't worry so much about the organza changing the color of it. All I'm doing is just kind of graying it out a little bit. Okay, let that dry off for a minute. I'm going to take the black, just pull it over the front, make sure it's on top. Set it down a little bit, trap it in there. And secure those edges so they're not going to fray. Okay, that's what we got so far. Make sure this shell back is where it's supposed to be. You might have to hold it. Tie this off so I can use the rotary vise to try to match up where these segments are. Okay, this mono, if you can do it tight on that first turn, then it makes the rest of them a little bit easier. Try to prevent that shell back from rolling. Don't worry about trapping those little organza fibers. We're going to brush them out. All I'm doing here is just trying to enhance that segmentation that we got on the belly. Hopefully my fingers aren't that much in the way. Okay, I'm going to take that right up to the bead. I'm going to trap that down. When hope seems lost and dreams askew, I'll paint it blue, the sky for you. I'll wind this thread up. I got like 3 feet of it out here. Now with the mono, I always like to roll it back a little bit because it's just finicky. Okay, it's taking shape here. Brush this out. I'm going to tie this off first. Okay, hang this over. And you see how these are popping out the back of the shell back? I would tell you to scrape your finger along it. And sometimes that'll pull some of those through there. See how that's working on the top? And then get your brush. Try to brush that out. Don't gotta be afraid of it. Got the shell back on a little bit crooked on the bottom here. Okay, not bad. All right, now you're gonna get, some soft tackle. What I'm using here is like one of these Brahma chickens. Okay, I'm gonna use half of a feather. So I put it in my clip, pull these feathers back, and I'm basically using like the back half of this feather. The little short fibers, I'm not gonna be using. They're more towards the tip of that feather, okay? Like this. I get to use one of my new toys. This is a new tool by Schman, and split thread tool. This thing is absolutely amazing because I can't see very well. And to do split thread, it's difficult when you can't see what the hell you're doing. That's all I'm doing with this. Okay. Real short, if you can see that. Okay. Got this new bobbin too, all my Christmas presents. Okay, make that as spiky as we want. When we wrap this, all we're gonna do is just pull these back anyway. Just want enough in there to give it a semblance of legs. Okay. And that's that. Together we'll face what life may bring. In sunshine's warm for rain fibers in there. I'll turn your gray skies to blue. Okay, so depending on how long you want these little gills, hairy fibers, all depends on how long you want to cut, you know, your organza. This one. You know, how long you want to make those fibers. So this one didn't turn out as good as some of the other ones I had. It's a little bit shorter. It's probably the other side of the thing that I did. But whatever legs you want to put on here, you know, you can rough these up and make them as ugly, buggy as you want. Water's gonna flatten them out anyway. That's really all you want. But this is the Gray Man. Two different organza things that we're doing here. There you go, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Go catch some fish. It's just about time.